This is the story of the three brothers. The three brothers growing up on the west side of Detroit. These three brothers grew up in a middle-class, blue-collar family. The oldest brother was the smartest. He could do calculus before he graduated from junior high school. The middle brother was pretty smart, could hold his own, not as smart as the older brother, and had to work a little bit harder at his schoolwork. The youngest brother of the three was the best athlete, but he struggled the most with his schoolwork. He had to work the hardest at school to maintain an average GPA. Both the older and the younger brother, I don't know, they bowed to the pressure of the street life and the surroundings. They both dealt drugs. The oldest brother, was in and out of jail and even did a short stint in a state prison. The youngest brother did the longest stint, 15 years. And you're looking at the middle brother.
I'm Blair Anderson, the Commander of Detention Services at the Dakota County Sheriff's Office.
My officers were doing a regular shakedown like they do, which is, you do a safety and security check. You go through a housing unit, you go through the cells, you look for contraband, you look for things that are out of order. Oftentimes they find very interesting works of art. During the shakedown, they find this drawing. It's glorifying gang affiliation, which makes it contraband.
They do shakedowns here and there now and then, and they've confiscated some artwork from me. Some of the stuff is like gang related.
When I saw it, I looked beyond the message and I just looked at the talent that went into making something like that.
The commander says, you know what? We got this kind of talent in this jail, and these are the same guys that have been coming back and forth to this jail for 10 years. Why do they keep coming back to jail if they got this kind of talent?
We had about an 18 by 30 foot space in our gymnasium here, and it was just crying out for something.
And so I thought, let's do a mural.
The hardest decision was which artist to pick. There were that many talented people.
I wasn't in a very good spot in my head at that time. I just was recently in jail and I was really depressed. So I didn't even submit any artwork.
We let the original artist select, who his assistants would be.
They later asked me to come on and do some lettering and stuff like that, and so I agreed, and then it just ended up turning into this.
It was a turning point for him. They all took it very seriously, but I think Mr. Vance took it to heart. I think it struck a deep chord with Mr. Vance.
Although this has been the hardest jail time I've ever done in my life, and I've done some time. I've been locked up several times, probably most of my adult life, but it's the first time I've ever been in jail that I felt so positive.
Being around some of the staff, at least while he was working on the project, probably gave him a different view of who we were as people. And consequently, he asked some questions about how did you get to where you are? How did you become the commander of a jail in the middle of Minnesota? How did you do that? And I told him very simply, I told him the story of the three brothers. The middle brother went to college. That's how I got here. In order to set goals, you gotta have a purpose. I think that's the antidote for despair and hopelessness. It's purpose. You can have goals all day long, but what do you intend to do? And that's what I asked him. It was a very simple question. I asked Mr. Vance, what do you intend to do?
I just turned 42 years old on Saturday, and here back a few weeks ago I went and enrolled in college for the first time in my life. I'm a high school dropout.
When I was younger and dreaming of going to college, any college, I just wanted to be on a campus somewhere because you know that purposeful things go on there. I mean, that's what the whole endeavor is about. And I think that's where people discover their purpose. And I hope the same is true for Mr. Vance.
I'm going to school. It's beyond me, you know what I mean? I don't, I'm just, that's not my luck.
We can learn things from these inmates as well as they can from us. You know, one of the things that I had reaffirmed for me, because I've always known it, but they just helped to reaffirm it, you know, and that is that this is my purpose, to help other people. I don't know how many community colleges foster an environment where there are legacy students, you know, and that's what I've started to see now are the kids, and in some instances the grandkids of people that I went to Inver Hills with are now students there. And I would use myself as an example of why that place, Inver Hills, is necessary.
Commander Blair Anderson, the middle brother, discovered his purpose at Inver Hills Community College and transformed himself into a quiet hero in our community. His story is not unusual at all. It has been replicated by thousands of students who have done the same. Purposeful things go on here at Inver Hills, and Commander Anderson is paying the legacy forward. Now it's your turn to help us continue to pay it forward.